have this bias creator. And I want to show you what it does before I show you how to do it. So I have this jacket that I designed a couple of years ago, and I use a particular kind of finish called a Hong Kong finish. And as you can see, the jacket is not lined, but I used this little tool to create this finish. So the entire jacket is not lined because I wanted it to be all about this finish here. And that's what this machine does. This little tool actually does, is create bias tape so that you can do different kinds of things. Decorative, you can use it for hems. For me, I used it to create a finish to one of my garments. And this is one of my favorite pieces because of the Hong Kong finish. And that's a theme that I'm gonna briefly cover when we get to finishes and seams. This is just another way to close up a garment, and it actually looks really beautiful once it's done. And I use it for the armholes. You can see here. And it just creates a really nice finish to a garment. And I achieved it using this tool right here. Okay, so how do you use the tool? So you take I'm gonna just use a small square here. It comes in different shapes, different measurements rather. I'm gonna use a 25 here. I'm gonna get just a regular blue marking pencil. And it's called bias tape because, as we'll cover when we get into the dressmaking portion, how a material is, how we used to sort of like understand textiles and fabric is the way things are cut. So you have your straight grain and then you have your bias. So this is cut on a bias, so it comes at an angle. So my first line would be diagonal. I think when you see the bias tape, you want to automatically go in and you want to do like this, because that's the first thing I did. I went like, oh no, I'll just do it like that. You need to cut at the bias. So you need to cut at the diagonal. So I'm going to go about, I'm going to say 1.5 inches. And that's the great thing about using the grid, because I'm able to line up my line that I already have here and then still see enough so I can create that additional line. And I know that this is 1 inch and this is 1.5 inches. And that's why the grid rulers are so important for dressmaking, because you couldn't quite achieve this if you had a regular ruler. So now I've got my bias line, and I'm just gonna go in and cut. Move that to the side there. You always want to have a clean workspace. That's something I'm going to emphasize as we go on. You always want to have that clean workspace. So this is where your friend the awl can come in handy to sort of guide this through. So what I do is I use that diagonal or bias cut and I slide it through. And then using the awl, I sort of like allow it to sort of assist. So now you've got it through. And what you would do is you would get an iron. And this iron is not on because it would burn this table, but it's just an example for you to see how it works. Again, the iron's not on because it was just, this whole thing would melt. So I just take my iron. Oh, the iron is on. No, it's off. Okay, so I would just take my iron and then I would use this hook to pull. And as I pulled, it would flatten and press, flatten and press, flatten and press, until it created, when you were done, that bias strip. And then I would just use it for however I wanted to use this. You would fold it in half and use it to bind a seam. So it can be a type of finish. You can do what I did with the Hong Kong seam finishes that I did there. But that's what this tool is used for when you are trying to create a type of finish. So these are two useful tools that I just wanted to give you a bit of a walkthrough of how they work and how you would use them. And that is the loop turner and the bias tape maker. We're going to cover is the binding seam. And remember when we did our, I believe it was our tools section, I briefly just showed you an example of a jacket that I did a few years ago and how I use the Hong Kong finish in order to achieve those bias strips. So essentially this is the same thing I'm going to do here. I have my 2 pieces of fabric that I created a seam with. I opened it up, I pressed them down nice and flat. Then I created 2 strips of binding. So using my binding tool, and remember how we did the demonstration of how we cut along the bias, we ran it through our bias tool maker and used the iron to press it through. And then once we had this crease, then we just folded it over again and created these creases. So if you either have not seen that video, you might want to check into the tool sections for a brief review, because it definitely goes into a bit of more greater detail on exactly how to use the bias tape measurer. The bias tape maker rather. If you do not have a tape maker, you can do this by hand, but it's a lot more work, and this seam is already kind of pretty tedious. So I would definitely recommend just getting the tool. You can find it in any local fabric store, and it's a lot easier to do the binding than if you're doing it by hand, especially when you're talking about making sure you get the exact same size binding over and over. You don't want to have one strip longer than the other. It takes away the beauty of the seam itself. So with that being said, I have my seams here pressed out, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my binding tape and I'm going to connect the raw edge of the binding tape with the raw edge of the top of that seam. And again, this seam is not something that is done lightly. It's extremely tedious, and if you decide, it's a great way to, if you don't want to line a garment, but I can't tell you that's an easier route to take, because it's a lot more time, because you're talking about doing this to every single seam in the garment, and you have to do it on both sides. Whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So once I have this here, I'm going to either baste it or run it through the machine as is. It depends on how comfortable you are. And then just at the very edge, I'm just going to run it through my machine. So let me do that and then come right back. So this is what it looks like. You have those seams edge to edge. Then with this crease still being down the middle, I'm going to sort of wrap it. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to wrap it around that seam. So I have my first stitch here, and now I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around this one. I would definitely recommend basting before you go in. So what you're going to do is, after you've done that, you're going to stitch right along that line. So you're going to do your basting stitch right in the middle, because remember, we never want the basting stitch and the machining stitch to cross over each other, because that just it's a real nightmare to try to get those stitches out without actually accidentally pulling out a machine stitch, and then it's going to be all choppy. So you just want to make sure that you don't have the basting stitch near the machine stitch. So now I'm going to go in and stitch that on the machine. So this is what it looks like on the sides. Just going to clip that off the top. So now I'm going to go to the other side so you can see what it looks like when the seam is done on both sides. So there you have a Hong Kong finish, and it looks a lot nicer when the fabrics are nicer and the threads match. You can even use fabric that has maybe like a print on it, so that you can have nice little print detail on like a flat pattern, and then you can have just these interesting designs. So that's why I like the binding tape. It does take a little bit more time, but when you have the proper bindings and the right color and the right thread color, it actually can be something really beautiful that reveals itself in the inner workings of the garment. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Videos are uploaded weekly covering dressmaking, fashion, lectures, and more.